Despite efforts by institutions like the Electoral Commission, National Commission for Civic Education, and the media to educate, voter participation in local elections remains consistently low. Paul Mensah Abrampa, Programs Officer at the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, notes that the disinterest in district-level elections impacts the local government structure.
The manifestations are what you see at the local level. The manifestations are what are read by the Auditor General every year. The malfeasance, the misappropriation, the mishandling of resources there because you don't have the competencies as oversight legislators to oversee, spearhead, and intervene where there are mismanagement going on there. Because people are not interested. So anybody can go there. Some of them don't even know their own standing orders. So we need to have the district authorities are the fulcrum for local development. That's why we spend taxpayers' money of about 7.5% at common fund to them, so that they can develop our local base for us, so that our communities, our villages will have a semblance of development. You need not travel from the village to city before you can access better services. No. The local government structure is expected to bring this sum of development to the local people. But because of the apathy, because of the disinterest, we are not seeing the development there.
Assembly members elected to drive development often face criticisms for inadequate performance to issues like sanitation problems in communities. Dinah Bimpom Mafo, Principal Civic Education Officer for the National Commission for Civic Education in the Ashanti region, explains that these challenges lead to voter apathy during district-level elections.
Well, with the apathy, when you speak with most participants, they will tell you that all the participants, the assembly members, they haven't lived up to expectation. And then there is also the issue of monetization. And so when it comes to women, especially the marginalized, you realize that there's so much money being pumped into even the district level elections, which shouldn't have been the case. But because of this, most women are discouraged from even participating in this. And then there is also the issue of these political parties also getting involved when it comes to district level. It's a non-partisan activity. And so with people who do not want to be associated with any political party, they are discouraged from participating, because then if you do stand, you might be tagged.
A national dialogue involving stakeholders, including persons with disability, addresses these concerns and seeks solutions for the upcoming district-level elections.
So we realize that the cost that we incur are taxpayers' money. So there's a need for us to trigger ourselves as civil society organizations to alert the stakeholders to be very proactive in such a way that if there's any district level election, they also motivate other people to vote in their constituencies and their electoral areas. That will help us to consolidate the true democracy at the local level. So we have organized this for all the regions in Ghana, but then we have zoned the regions into three: the middle zone, the northern zone, and the southern zone.
Scheduled for December 19, the Electoral Commission has announced the district-level elections dates. But there are calls from civil society and interest groups for more comprehensive efforts to combat voter apathy.
The education itself is very low as compared to the national election, that the presidential and parliamentary. At least I'm sure from next year, January, we are going to hear a lot of messages on the election. But when it comes to assembly election, it's very low. Because I learned it should be in December, and we are now in the month of August. How many months left? And we've not heard anything about the assembly election.
Well, persons with disabilities actually have been very, what I would say is, a lot of them don't even want to participate because of these days, the financial inducements. Because elections these days in the country have been more of money and other things. And it has been very rigorous. You move from one community to another to talk to people. And the movement of persons with disability is always restricted. And our cultural beliefs too. Sometimes you see if person with disability over you, what can you do? You see? And so it has become a big challenge, except a few of us who will always want to defy those odds.
Civil society groups are worried about the continuous low turnout recorded during district-level elections. They have observed this trend is affecting Ghana's local government system. They want something done to address this trend. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Kumasi, Ashanti Region.